Arabian Nights marches thousands of miles to the region they call the Holy Land. Muslim states dominate the Middle East and a region that stretches from Persia to Spain. Pope Urban II calls for a holy war to liberate Christianity's most sacred city, Jerusalem. He receives an offer of help from a Crusader knight,
my lord,
the French nobleman Hugh de Péan.
I have a great vision, my lord. Thou art a knight of the Templar. Thou art a warrior of God.
From a band of 9 knights, the Templars will swell into an army of thousands. They call themselves the Order of the Poor Knights of the Temple of Solomon. In time, they're simply known as the Knights Templar. They're not only warriors, but monks. They take vows of poverty, obedience, and celibacy. Like medieval monks, Templars pray 7 times a day. But what makes these monks different is they train to fight.
First defense is your sword. I guarantee you, you lose this, you will lose your life. When we cut, we keep going, we do not stop. Is everyone ready?
Between those two.
They famously won many battles, so their respect was incredible. They had a mystique. They had an aura of power.
Part of their mystique grows from their headquarters. King Baldwin gives the knights one of Christendom's holiest places, the site of the ancient Jewish temple. Jesus himself once preached here. Is again occupied by Muslims. The Templars retreat to the island of Cyprus.
After the fall of Acre in 1291, you have a serious disillusionment with the idea of the Crusades, as the common populace saw the resources of Europe and the resources of the military going towards these holy wars that seemed to be futile. The role of the Templars seemed to be less tenable.
Fate lies with a new leader, the French nobleman Jacques de Molay. He lobbies for a new crusade launched from Cyprus, but to no avail.
He showed up in France at a time when Philip IV, Philip the Fair, was experiencing a great deal of economic hardship.
Philip is known as the Fair for his handsome looks, but he's accumulated huge debts. His wars with England have put France in hock. His biggest creditor is none other than the Knights Templar. Philip decides to wipe out his loans with one stroke. Arrest the Templars and seize their money.
Bring them to the dungeons on the Louvre.
The king.
Dr. Malik, by the order of the king, you are under arrest.
By what charge?
Heresy.
The arrests shock Europe.
Today,
the investigation of the accused begins in the usual way. penalty for crime. It's a tool to extract a confession. The most common form of torture was the rack. A rack was simply 3 triangulated boards with a rope attached to a winch, and the idea was to dislocate the wrists and the ankles. In Paris alone, over 100 Templars are tortured, including their elderly Grand Master, Jacques de Molay.
I confess my sin of heresy!
But the confessions go beyond the original charges, moving from the odd to the bizarre. Night after night confesses to strange religious practices, including the worship of an unusual object.
There are a lot of suggestions that this was, in fact, the skull of John the Baptist. Others have suggested that the severed head on the silver platter is, in fact, the Holy Grail.
The stories get stranger as Templars independently tell similar bizarre stories. Several Templars confess to worshipping the Baphomet, or Baphomet.
The Baphomet is probably one of the most spectacular aspects of the accusations against the Templars. Some have suggested that this is a stone idol of the devil, which was one of the most sensational aspects of their trial, trying to link them in some way with demon worship.
King Philip demands the heretics face justice.
I have here numerous eyewitness accounts of acts of heresy in name and deed.
Reluctantly, the Pope agrees. In 1314, the Knights Templar are officially disbanded. March 18, 1314. After 7 years of imprisonment and torture, Grand Master Jacques de Molay is executed as an unrepentant heretic. With his dying breath, it is said de Molay put a curse on the Pope and the King.
In a year, I shall see you both in a tribunal before God.